Go live. Play the jazz. Put on the timer. Okay, we did it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. YouTube very much did not want this stream to go live, and it was breaking a lot, but we fixed it in the end. Everything's fine, don't worry. Oh, that's supposed to be blurred out. Don't worry about it, there's nothing to see there anyway. It's just, like, how long the stream's been live. Let's see, okay. Now to Amazon, Star Trek TNG. Because now I have to get queued up for the episode. No, I don't want to hear myself. You guys probably didn't hear that, but it played my own voice to me. Alright, so today's episode that we're starting with is, well, it's awful, really. It's a bad episode. If you're ever re-watching TNG just on your own, and not, you know, streaming it so you feel the need to provide more content to people, just skip it. Just skip it. There are like 2 episodes in all of Star Trek that I would ever recommend skipping, and it's this and Shades of Grey. Even the Space Ghost episode I wouldn't recommend skipping because it's just... it's so bad, it's amazing. This one's just bad. But hey, maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe this is actually really good, and I just remember one really awkward scene. Who knows? Maybe I just remember one really awkward scene. Which we're just gonna pretend doesn't exist. I'll just start doing something else when that scene comes up. So yeah, in this episode, Troy gets pregnant with a space baby, and everyone's really weird about it. That's all I've got to say about that, really. No comment.
You didn't do the countdown. I got last.
Oh. Oh, I've been muted this whole time. Oh goodness. How long have I been muted?
I don't know.
Have I said anything since the stream went live?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Hopefully everyone's synced up well. Just a few seconds? Okay. I might have accidentally hit my, push to talk hotkey and that set it to mute by default. Just turn off hotkeys, there we go. Okay. Man, today's stream is going great. I'm so good at this.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, he has a beard. It's a nice beard, Riker. It'll get better in later seasons, but even now, it's a significant improvement. What I was saying, I don't know if I was muted for this, was that one shot of the Enterprise and the Excelsior class flying side by side. We're going to be seeing that same shot a lot because every single time they use an Excelsior, it's that same shot. Odette 9, you say? Okay. Did I mention Discord when I was not muted? If you want to join the Discord to join the voice chat, there's a link in the description. Just click on it, click the voice chat channel, and you can come and chat. Yeah, you're supposed to hear my voice alone. You're supposed to have your own episode queued up and matched to the timestamp, because, I mean, CBS will shut me down if I play the audio. But it's also why it's titled Bring Your Own Video. Outboard of the port nacelle, okay. Do we get the space baby? I think we're getting a space baby. Did I say when I was not muted what episodes in all of Star Trek I recommend skipping?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. I'm glad that part was in. That's the important one.
Although I was listening to Discord and had the stream muted because otherwise I hear you twice. So I don't know what
Yeah.
the stream heard.
Oh, the same audio goes to Discord. So if you hear the jazz, do you hear the jazz? Not right now, but earlier.
I did hear the jazz, yes.
Yeah, so it's definitely the same input. What the heck's that guy? Does that count as a speaking line for getting paid? If you just grunt and groan?
Probably not.
Oh boy. What are you doing under the covers, little LED? Morn actually laughs too. Yeah, there we go. Morn. No. And she's pregnant. That's how it works in space. You have a little LED that goes under your covers and it makes its way toward you, and then you're pregnant. It's a good setup. It's very convenient. And she's pregnant. That's how it works in space. Yeah,
Ryan,
I don't.
quick, what happens in this episode?
What? I don't want to talk about it, honestly. Um, some very uncomfortable things happened in this episode. They just had no clue what to do with Troy ever. Troy Troy is not a good character till like season 4. I just don't know. I'm skimming through trying to remember anything about it other than the fact it makes me deeply uncomfortable. Um I'm not seeing anything other than deep discomfort rather. No, it looks like that's the whole episode. Good. Good. Oh, I think we get the Pulaski and Data scene today though. In this episode. That should be good. There's one redeeming quality of this episode, and it's the Data Pulaski scene.
You mean
But
the Data
isn't
Pulaski scene?
you fiend? Just because I pronounce it data in one episode to mess with people, you think you can mispronounce it data here? The hubris.
It's a reference to that specific scene. Come on.
I know. Oh, hey, Brent. I I've seen people say that they do mention where Beverly goes, but I don't remember that at all. So I'm keeping an eye out here, or an ear out rather. What happened to Dr. Crusher officially? I don't know if it's beta canon that she went to Starfleet Medical or if we'll actually get that in the episode. Picard, why are you saying it like that? Are you? What did Pulaski do?
I assume she's supposed to be on duty.
You okay, Picard? Why are you staring at him like that? Picard, people don't talk in elevators. What are you doing, Matt? Get back against the wall and stare blankly at the door. Stop looking at Wesley.
This is the 24th century. They have specially designed elevators to make people talk to each other.
All
Oh,
they
there we
are
go. Head to
around.
Starfleet Medical.
I'll say I missed it, but I'll take your word for it. At least it's consistent with Picard's character that he has no idea what to do with the child, like Wesley. I wouldn't either, but I'm not a Starfleet captain. Oh, hey, Guinan. It's Whoopi. Yeah, see, look at her eyebrows. She doesn't have any. I don't know if she shaves them or if she just naturally doesn't have eyebrows, but she doesn't have eyebrows.
Da da da.
Very dramatic, Pulaski. Is the containment area for the space fetus? I feel like they might need one. Yeah, this is the scene that I mostly think of when I think of this episode, and why I don't want to think of this episode. It's all
Well,
about
while this scene isn't happening, how's your life doing? Yeah.
uh it's okay, you know. Um Generally in my life I don't sit around a table talking about aborting someone else's baby, but if I want to be a Starfleet officer, maybe I should start. And Riker's all jealous now. It's a space fetus, Riker. Relax. Is the screen angled somewhere? What screen is angled?
I assume the front main screen. I didn't notice it, but
Why does Riker sound angry at her? Well, I mean, I know why he sounds angry at her, but I mean, knock it off, man. I mean, of course, Counselor Troy's sitting apart for everyone. She's all freaked out.
a presence.
Chick got impregnated by some sort of alien, some kind of alien life form in the middle of the night while she was sleeping. And now she's pregnant and she's all freaked out. Of course she wants a bit of space. Ah, obviously war. How much of this episode is Gene Roddenberry? This scene in particular. This seems like an episode that's about Gene being against abortion in general. I'm still not really clear on why Counselor Troy makes that decision. I mean, it's not really her baby. It just kind of is existing there for a bit.
Yeah, it feels like a very emotional decision. Maybe you should stop and breathe, think about this for a bit.
Granted, though, she doesn't really have time to think about it because it's about to stop being a fetus.
That's very
Goes real
true.
quick. It's a space fetus. It grows like 100 times the normal rate.
But wouldn't like her skin not have enough time to stretch and stuff if it grew that fast?
I have no idea how that works. Not a clue. You could go ask a doctor or something. If someone's belly were to extend, well, like good 6 inches by the look of Troy over there, overnight, what would that do to your skin? Well, dude, why? Why is his flap down? What's he doing, man? You're in a biohazard containment area. Put your flap on. I guess I can't say this is unrealistic based on current events, but seriously, dude, put your mask back on. Very disappointed in that scientist. Okay, it's a very fancy containment unit. I th- is that supposed to be that system all around the outside, the tubes? Is that supposed to be for containment, or is that just supposed to be for like carrying it? Because it totally would not work as a Faraday cage. Okay, maybe it grows up more than 100 times faster. A lot more. Pulaski, I feel like. No, I was thinking Pulaski should be more concerned, but maybe she is very concerned and she's just hiding it because she's a doctor. She doesn't want to freak out Troy. I don't know, Troy. I think you should probably get Worf in there. Not for security, just he loves delivering babies. But, Doctor, I am not capable of feeling nervous. I. Data, I'm not sure she's the best person to ask because this isn't. This isn't a Betazoid normal child. This is a space fetus that grew in like 2 days. Maybe go and ask a regular pregnant person. And then he has to go and ask people of different species all those same questions. And then how does that change if it's a hybrid? Oh, it's that black guy whose head is going to explode next episode. Yeah, keep an eye out for that man. He's going to be having a bit of a rough time. I mean, sure, it's a spoiler, but I've been saying it literally every episode this entire watch along. Every time that guy's on screen, all I remember about him is his head explodes in one episode.
You're telling me they reused a random officer?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was quick and easy. I mean, maybe the space fetus was helping out there, but that seemed like an unusually quick delivery.
It was an unusually quick development.
Yeah. This is going to give Troy unrealistic expectations for her next kid with Riker.
Oh yeah. Oof.
He's going to be in for a rude awakening when she gets actually pregnant. Riker, what are you doing, man? Quit creeping on her. You ain't even dating anymore. Leave her alone. What are you even doing in this room?
He's fulfilling his duties as first officer.
He's fulfilling his duties as a stalker. Now, I don't have personal experience with this, but I feel like it's probably inappropriate to hang out without invitation in your ex's delivery room. It doesn't sound right. I don't know if this baby's technically siblings because it's not actually. It doesn't have any of Troy's genetic material. It just kind of showed up. At least I don't think it does.
I thought they said it had only Troy's genetic material.
I'll say I haven't been listening. Maybe. I don't see why it would though, because she. It's a space alien.
And that's part of the ooh, it's so mysterious was that it's purely Troy's baby, even though that's not how that works, you know?
Okay. Well, at least Troy doesn't seem upset about this. I mean, we don't know that the baby's a boy. It just looks like a boy. Perfect clone of Troy. Don't worry about it. At least Pulaski understands that this was a weird delivery. I'm still not sure if Troy knows that, but at least Pulaski's aware of it. And that containment unit might be useful for more than their current mission. If they put the baby in it, they can prevent it from, freaking out everyone. It looks big enough. It kind of looks like Troy. A little bit. Mostly the hair and the eyes.
If the boy was growing that fast, wouldn't you physically see him increasing in height?
Oh yeah, should do. How long has it been? 2 hours, do you think? 2 hours since delivery?
Pulaski said a day old.
A day old. So, the current go. Okay, child, I would really prefer if you never said anything like that again. That's the kind of thing you say if you're about to murder everyone on the ship. It's
I
gonna
was
be
gonna say
okay.
this
We're
isn't a
gonna
horror movie.
reunite you with your relatives. So it's a 4-year-old child, 365.25 days in a year, 24 hours a day, and the child's 24 hours old. So it's growing at about 1,500 times normal rate. So what's the average growth rate of a 4-year-old child? Average growth rate of 4-year-old male. 2 to 3 inches per year.
Here we go, data.
Yep. Let's say 2.5 over 365 inches per day. More data. Can't catch a break. Okay, so we probably wouldn't be able to see the child growing still. He should be growing at about 0.007 inches per minute. Or 10 inches per day.
Huh.
At this rate, because he's 4 years old now, so this growth rate is a little bit lower than. Yeah, Pulaski gets a bad rap for this, but I mean, she has a whole arc about it. She initially doesn't see Data as a person, just as a machine. She gets to know him, and she starts to see him as a person later in the season. She becomes friends with him later on. Pulaski's cool, just a bit ignorant at the start. And it's not really even clear that she's wrong, that Data isn't a person. It's not 100% clear. Wait, so they have puppies on the Enterprise? When did they get. Is this the holodeck, or do they have real puppies on the Enterprise? If this is not the holodeck, where do people get off complaining about Captain Archer having one beagle? Yeah, should have done. Should have grown probably 3 inches. Yeah, I don't know. Some people complain about Porthos, but I mean, Porthos is a good boy. You should never complain about Porthos. He's a good dog. Oh, everyone, I have good news. I just got a text message. Della has confirmed her appointment for a test drive for a Mitsubishi Outlander. Thanks, Della.
Good for you, Della.
Oh, she's in San Diego apparently. Good, good. I'm glad she put down my number so I could get all this helpful information. No,
I wonder
Della,
if you're
stop
one
sending me
number off.
messages. Shut up, Della. I need to mute this now. I'm gonna keep getting messages about Della's appointment. Hang on, real quick. Let's see. Unblur the screen. Images. Mitsubishi Outlander. You know, I mean, it's okay, Della. It's not the one I would pick. But it's fine. It's not terribly flashy. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a gaudy vehicle. It's okay. So yeah, that's what Della's gonna drive today. Maybe we should reply and ask her what color she's getting.
I think you've got an echo on your review.
I've got an echo on my review.
Me.
IR review was there's some kind of echo going on. Huh.
If you're on the Discord and you have the stream, then that'll cause an echo.
No, it's good.
That's totally what it is. Yep.
I was gonna say, Troy, you should give that kid a haircut, but it's probably futile. It's probably not gonna work. She can cut it, it'll just come right back.
His haircut now looks feudal.
God, now can
It's
we
a lot of
put the kid in the containment area? He's freaking me out.
It's a lot of philosophical weight to put on a kid's shoulders.
Right? Cognitive powers.
He has a brain.
Are we even sure of that? Have we taken any scans of this kid? This alien child? Other than when he
Oh,
was
I'm
a
sure-
fetus?
I'm sure Pulaski's taken 1,000 scans.
Was I mistaken? But the science officer in the earlier scene, wasn't that the guy that like is in all of Wes Anderson's movies?
I don't know.
He's like he's in every one of them. Like I just watched Royal Tenenbaums before I got on the stream. So that's why it's fresh in my mind. But
Oh, hey, there's a blooper for this part. Where, when Guinan asks him what he's looking for, and he goes, well, a script would be nice.
Nice.
He can totally have a script there. Just off camera, he can be staring at it. Maybe he actually has one. Maybe they taped it to the window here. Or the green screen, rather.
Whoopi's a pretty big actress to be in the show at this point, right? Like,
Oh,
in
yeah.
1988. Like,
I remember the story was Guinan, Whoopi Goldberg asked to be on. She was really trying to get a role. So they had to find something for her. And we got Guinan.
it's great. It's great that they added good characters to the show and got rid of bad ones.
What, you calling Crusher a bad actor?
Oh no, I was
Witch
referring
Crusher.
to Denise Crosby.
Oof. Oof.
I mean, I don't think it's fair to judge Denise
not- no,
Crosby's
it's not
acting
her.
skills here, because
No, yeah,
everyone in season
yeah.
1 is uncomfortable. Not
Yeah,
great.
no, it's the writing. It's not her acting. Like,
I mean, it might be her. I don't know, but I just don't know if
Something
we can
Rape
judge
Gangs.
that. I haven't seen
Rape
Denise
Gangs.
Crosby in anything else.
yeah, it's a good backstory. Rape gangs. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's bring it up every episode. Have a talk about it. Get Wesley's opinion. The only
Sure
time we
made
see
all
this
the-
warp effect.
Sure made all the female staff feel great on the show, you know.
Thanks, Rick Berman.
He's like, what? Everybody on this show's been raped, I'm sure.
Troy just was.
This guy, the guy with the gray hair. He's passed away at this point, but he was in. I think he's in every single Wes Anderson film.
Okay.
Very.
It's so serious, we cut to commercial.
It's so serious that at the end of the episode, everyone's fine.
The lighting on the Enterprise and all the exterior shots looks really wrong here.
It's all CG redone, right?
I don't know. They're trying
Are you
something different for season 2 compared to season 1. And it's not quite working for him.
But you're watching like the Blu-ray cut.
Yeah, the Amazon, which is the remastered version, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever they did an event, they did some events near here where they had like when the Blu-rays were first coming out, where they showed them in theater. Did you have those?
Oh no. That's before my time. At least my Star Trek time.
I went to see 2 season 1 episodes in the theater. It was like I think where no one has gone before. The travel episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where Wesley is Mozart, that one. Special
I was
attachment to
watching
the boy.
Of your season 1 stream. It's pretty good. Very enjoyable. But you know, TNG was filmed on film, which is very different from all the other TV shows at the time.
35 millimeter, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
I
aware
wonder,
of that, but is that actually different?
Yeah.
Were other people filming on video in the
Yeah.
80s?
Televisions were on video.
Yeah, I'm not sure how common shooting on film was for a television series. Like, I'm sure other series did it, but
And like you said, 35 millimeter. I guess they would do it on 16 millimeter.
oh, you're talking about the ratio.
No, it's the size of the film reel makes it clearer, and so this was literally like HD or cinematic level
Oh,
quality.
yeah. You could probably bring this up to 4K if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
this
only
looks fantastic. Like, I was really impressed with the remaster they did.
The only reason they don't actually do it is because they have to do all the CGI and stuff again and pull out the old reels. And also, it's 3x4, not 16:9. But it was filmed in 16:9. You would just have to re-edit the whole series.
I wonder if this actor is in any more episodes or it's just this one.
He doesn't look familiar at all, but
No, not at all.
if he shows up again, it won't be after season 2. I can tell you that much. Well, it could be an alien. Hang on, his name is Seymour Castle. Seymour Castle. IMDb. Control F, Star Trek. No, this is the only time.
It's so weird that I literally watched the Royal Tenenbaums before this, like, and he plays a doorman at a hotel that Gene Hackman's character stays at, and Gene Hackman enlists him to pretend to be a doctor as part of a scheme to pretend that he's dying.
Oh, I got a screenshot. Let me open that up to see what that panel said.
Thanks.
It said, strain was initially believed to be closely related to either the Legato or Hutzel infections, but all cases proved highly resistant to normal treatment protocol. Reported cases exceeded 2,000 during the next planetary year, with growth proceeding exponentially. Planet was officially declared a something. I feel like they could fit more text on screen than that. That's a big
Well, if
font.
you got rid of the second growth,
This is like size 256 point font.
maybe everyone in the future is blind. Like they all have poor eyesight.
They're too proud to wear glasses these days. She's not your mommy, kid. Stop being creepy about it.
Whoever did the captioning on this Amazon stream, they put like double quotation marks on as an apostrophe. It's really
Oh yeah, that's on
irritating.
every episode. It's probably just a technical error.
Yeah, it's really weird. Also, anytime there's a name of a ship, it gets doubled and a word gets deleted. It's weird.
It's like they got an AI to write the captioning for the show.
They were probably underpaid and overworked.
Is Marina Sirtis doing an accent? Like that's not how. Is that how she normally
No,
talks?
that's how she
No,
talks in
that-
season 1 too.
She's
She,
tech-
the actress
she has
is
a
doing an
British accent,
yes.
really.
No, she's Hispanic, so I feel like she had a natural accent in the early seasons.
That she lost? Like
Yeah.
No, she's
I-
British.
You can hear her natural accent in Voyager. I think the movies.
Oh, so she is British, yeah.
What in one of the it might have been in a convention or something. She was talking about the accent, and she said she was told to do some kind of exotic accent, so that's what she did. And then later on, when she was asking like, where does this accent come from? What's up with it? They're like, you got it from your parents. Don't worry about it. And then Loxana Troy comes on, and she has a distinctly American accent. It's like, what's up? Wait, what's up with that? Why does she get an American accent? I have to do this weird exotic thing that doesn't exist. It's like, you got it from your father. Don't worry about it. Then we see her father, and he has a distinctly American accent.
And he died when she was a child. So.
Yeah, and Marina Sirtis goes to him again. Is like, why do I have to do this accent? My mother and my father both have distinctly American accents. Why do I have to do this weird exotic thing? So the director they sent it to just finally said, "You went to boarding school. Shut up."
It's so obvious in the first episode. You're like, she's sounding very Spanish.
this was the year Akira came out, right?
She sounded like Sofia Vargas in the first episode.
Like this is like straight out of the ending of Akira.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Pulaski up here? Shouldn't she be dealing with the much bigger problem?
She was called up because Ian was dying.
Yeah, I don't get why she was in the engineering section too.
It's a metaphor for you know.
I wonder if I can find that clip of Marina talking about her accent.
Good thing this problem solved itself. Otherwise, this ship would have like completely destroyed itself. Usually, aliens are more stubborn than that.
Entity.
Yeah.
Decided the best way to learn about you was to impregnate the counselor. Thanks, Ian.
With himself.
Space rapist.
Yeah.
He just happened to pick the Playboy Playmate of the Year in 1986 to be born into.
The Marina Sirtis was a Playboy Playmate of 1986.
Yeah, centerfold.
Really?
That's why Gene Roddenberry picked her.
That's scummy.
Couldn't have made a better choice, alien kid. I mean, she also objected to the cat suit all the time, and finally, like, I love by the time we get to Datalore, she's actually wearing the blue uniform.
Really? In Datalore?
Well, I mean, that's the first one I can remember, but she never wore a medical uniform really until like the later seasons.
Wait, do you mean Descent?
I think the Jellicoe episode is when Descent, right? When
Datalore's season 1.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I'm not saying she didn't wear a uniform at any other point. I actually not sure about that, but
yeah,
I don't think she did.
Part 1, Part 2. Yeah.
at that point, he like makes her wear a uniform, and she kind of sticks with it, which is cool. It's like a cool little change to make to the series.
Wait, is that the
But-
Enterprise cargo bay? Or is that the station cargo bay?
Is
No,
this
that's
dude
the
gonna
station.
die?
I think that's supposed to be the Enterprise cargo bay.
Yeah.
No, they just said they're gonna beam it up to the Enterprise, I think.
Oh, they were in like some
It
kind
is
of
the
facility.
Enterprise, people are saying? I mean, it sure
What?
doesn't look like the Enterprise.
It never looks like that again.
Except in the Masaka episode. Then it kind of looks like that.
Also, when the thing falls on Worf's back.
Captain, remember, I'm supposed to be Mozart.
Did that episode happen yet?
Oh yeah, we got it. That was season
Yeah.
1.
They should have made Wesley start laughing like Mozart's character in the Amadeus film.
I think I saw from the Amazon trivia, Gene Roddenberry gave him his lieutenant pips from the Navy when Wesley got promoted to acting ensign. He gave Will Wheaton his insignia.
Oh wow,
as lieutenant.
like a real
Navy.
Rank.
But he's not wearing
rank.
any
insignia.
pips.
That's cool.
Yeah. Although
It's
we
close-
don't go
I didn't-
by the Amazon trivia here, but it was good trivia.
I don't
Amazon
know that
trivia
much
is
about
always trash.
Roddenberry. But it makes sense that he would have been in the Navy, depending on like based on the design of the series, right? Like,
Yeah, the ranks.
This is a good scene. This scene is good.
This is great.
Despite the rest of the episode, this is a nice scene. Or Wesley.
it's cool.
Good on Worf taking responsibility for tucking him in. Very polite of you, Lieutenant.
Did he really keep that responsibility though?
No.
Well,
Every night.
I don't think
every
we ever
night.
I don't think we ever see Wesley go to bed on screen, so I'm gonna say yes.
That's a good point. Yeah, could have happened.
The only time we see people in their like in bedtime situations is like when there's something horribly wrong.
Yeah.
We could probably get Michael Dorn and Will Wheaton together, have him tuck him in. We get
Yeah.
that. He'd be a bit taller these days, but it could still work.
20 years later, recreating the same pose.
We'd have to shave the beard. So, the next episode is the one where someone's head explodes, so that's nice. Been looking forward to that. No, stop giving me ads, Amazon. I'm paying for your service.
Right?
All right,
I don't get
new
ads.
timer. TNG, where
I'm watching an ad for that new Nick Cage
Mhm.
Rainn Wilson series.
Oh,
no, a different
one-
head explosion.
Well, I missed it when you guys were discussing it. But when they were in the conference room and wondering whether they should abort her baby, because we talked about it last time, it reminded me of that Madonna song, "Papa Don't Preach." I'm not changing my mind. I'm keeping my baby. But it's a song where she's fighting with her dad about keeping a child.
I'm trying to find Marina Sirtis talking about her accent here while we're waiting. Oh yeah, Jazz.
Computer.
Yeah,
jazz.
I exaggerate about the explosion. The guy like starts vibrating his head real quick and he grabs it real hard and then he kind of falls over. But I'm gonna keep calling
then
that an explosion.
And then he turns into a meme.
Yeah, last time we saw the Parasite episode where his head explodes and they killed everybody who's in head of Starfleet Command, basically.
Yeah.
And nobody
sometimes you got
objected.
a clean house.
Oh yeah, that episode of The Boys yesterday. That one, I'm not gonna say anything about it because it's brand new, but you know.
Are they? Do they do timed release on those?
Yeah, it's one a week. I think the last one is next week.
You don't want to watch that Ethan Hawke series that's about to debut tomorrow night on Showtime. The John Brown.
Ethan Hawke. It sounds familiar, but I have no idea who that
So
is.
it's a series based on a book about this guy John Brown who kind of led like a sort of a violent revolution in ahead of the Civil War, wanted to like sort of single-handedly like start a revolution to end slavery. And he's kind of like a sort of like a folklore figure, but Ethan Hawke plays him, and I think it's like a short series. I don't think it's going to be very long. They're billing it as a limited series, but it looks good. Definitely caught my eye.
So I haven't been able to find Troy talking about her accent. I think that's buried in the middle of a convention somewhere. So that's not going to be coming up today. Sadly, tragically. But maybe in the future. So this is going to be one of the many episodes where the main villain is a big spooky head floating in space, so that's good. We get Nagilum, we get the Cytherians, though they turn out to not really be villains. We get a bunch of them in TOS, including a floating hand. How many floating heads do we get? See, I think I actually compiled them somewhere. Hang on. Where's my Discord?
And then we have to count how many times Data's head is on a table. And also the I'm an android.
I remember now where I made my list. Let me go back and look for my list of disembodied heads before the episode starts.
Was it, Ryan, was it one of your videos that I saw the other day that was like a thank you Data compilation?
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Thank you, Mr. Data.
It's hard. I have a few like a few different channels that post stuff like that. So it's, I don't
You're
always
seeing
notice which
another
one did
channel?
it. Well, you got like Major Grin does a lot of videos. You've got I mean, if you want to go really back, you got. Did you used to watch those old Gazora or Andrew Hussey?
I've seen a few here and there, but I never
Yeah.
sat down and watched a series or subscribed or anything.
Yeah, they're hard to find because they're spread across different accounts and they might have gotten like mirrored and stuff. But those were like 10 years ago and they were freaking hilarious. Like,
All right, hang on. We're coming up on start time. Everyone queue up to 0 and where silence has Lease in 4, 3, 2, 1, play. All right, we're good.
this scene cracks me up. It's like, it almost looks like a outtake.
Some very dramatic music for Picard just calmly walking on the bridge, though.
Meandering.
What's supposed to be happening right now? Because nothing's happening, but why are they... This is the music they would play at the end of the episode after they saved the day.
Bofa.
That seems kind of space racist, Jean-Luc. What do you got against the Klingons? They're even part of the Federation.
He's the future arbiter of succession, so...
It appears that Commander Riker and Worf are on some kind of soundstage.
What do you mean? Those are totally some real rocks in the background. I mean, you say they're on a soundstage, but they're literally in the show on basically a soundstage.
Yes. Yeah, I don't
So-
know. It's a little more believable. I feel like the HD really makes it. You got to remember, like, this was not the way it was meant to be presented. You know, like television
Standard
production
definition,
standards.
cathode ray
Yeah.
TV, interlaced.
Yeah. It's just like you can see the paint on the rocks in this detail. It's fantastic.
My favorite thing in HD is being able to see the stunt doubles, just like super obvious.
Oh yeah. So many people who are not Brent Spiner being thrown across the room or throwing other people across the room.
That'd be a good montage. Just nothing but stunt doubles.
So what's that gauntlet, Worf? Did you program that in? Is that a standard weapon, or is that like a video game weapon for this holodeck simulation?
Yeah, he was like he was looking at the stats when he was putting it on.
Oh, that's totally an alien, not a dude in a suit. This would that kind of suit would probably look much better in standard definition interlaced.
It's a Gorn.
That guy looks
Oh,
good
this
though.
guy's-
Skullman.
Yeah, that guy scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Like,
It was
Skullman's
scary.
cool. The other guy looks like he's straight out of a Godzilla movie, but they didn't do the
Yeah.
sizing up effect.
Y'all are laughing now.
why are they all like? Why does he have like scorch marks on his face? Like, what are they doing?
You know, there's some elements of the Klingon psyche you shouldn't know. Oh
It
man,
looks like the Velociraptor pen in Jurassic Park.
that is an unfortunate weapon design. That it specifically will not go around your enemy's neck. Perfectly contoured to avoid damage.
Like a Batclef almost.
Oh yeah, this is the point where Worf is still kind of evil when he goes crazy, when he gets in battle. It's
Why are
okay,
they
he'll chill out
Holodeck
later.
Safeties work here.
It's a good thing Jadzia didn't see him like this, because there is that courtroom episode where Jadzia vouches for him in holodeck simulations. She says, "I can see the bloodlust in his eyes. I know he could kill me if he wanted to, but he always stops. He's always in control of himself." I don't think that's true here. This is well before they decided that. Worf would totally murder someone here if Riker didn't order him to stop.
This is so weird. They didn't keep this up, did they?
No. Later on, Worf's program is a few little targets floating through the air, and he goes and shoots them with Guinan.
That's good. That's probably therapy.
There is that holodeck simulation from the aforementioned courtroom episode. We never see it, but it's where Worf commands a Klingon army and goes and burns a city to the ground, so that's kind of intense. I feel like burning a city to the ground has got to be pretty cathartic.
Yeah.
Work out a lot of pent-up aggression there.
I mean, holodeck, you just go blow up planets, Just
Now you gotta do something where you can destroy it with your own two hands. Blowing up a planet is so impersonal.
you could do it with your own two hands. Just make a really tiny planet.
I get, sure, you could have like a Men in Black galaxy in a marble thing.
Yeah. Maybe
Just
something a little
smash
bit bigger, like like in Katamari, where you kind of got like the giant ball in front of you. You can kind of like take a hammer to it, or sledgehammer.
Yeah. So what
Usually sorry, go ahead.
for what does actually happen in this episode? Because I remember the head exploding. Yes, I'm gonna keep calling it exploding. There's the floating head who's like putting them in a laboratory maze, and they're in a void and it just kind of screws with them.
Is this the
There's
one where
fake
like,
Riker. Fake
is
Data,
this the one where
rather.
Riker and Worf are on like a version of the Enterprise that's like empty, and they're like walking through doors, and like they walk into the same other room?
No, that's a different one. That's when they go to meet the USS Yamato, I think.
Hmm.
I think it's a different one. You know what? No, I think you're right. I think that is this episode.
It's a cool. Sorry, excuse me. It's a cool title for an episode.
Producer Burton Armis. Armis, you say? It's a good name. Maybe you should use that in the show. Are we supposed to be looking at something, Riker? That just looks like space.
Space. What the
Why does he
fuck?
say it as a command if he's going to type it in himself?
Who knows? He just wants everyone to understand what's going on. He wouldn't want them to be surprised by that computer graphic that they never use again.
Computer, activate accessibility options.
That did look like a magnifying glass.
They do show zooming, but it looks different other times.
I mean, normally it just zooms in. There's no need to be dramatic about it.
Maybe the computer AI like develops new user interface over time.
See, it's so dramatic in season 1 and 2 because the Galaxy class is brand new. This is Picard's first command of a Galaxy class. The first time any of these people have been on a Galaxy class. They just really want to make it fancy. They don't want to use all the standard features. They want to use all the new stuff. Like how when you get a new when computer assistants came out, like Cortana and Siri, you use them all the time, and then once you get bored of it, you just switch to standard interface. That's what's going on here. They're still in the excited about Siri existing stage. That's not true, Data. That's not true at all.
The definition of anything remotely like this is just terrible.
It's very subjective.
You know who else ran into a hole in space, Data? The other Enterprise. There's probably a log about it. There's a whole episode about it.
They act like they don't know that Enterprise though. Like it's like ancient history to them. They're like obscure
It
historical
was 100
figures.
odd years ago, to be fair.
Yeah, they're not really the next generation. They're like many, many generations after.
You know, I think they reused that probe model a lot. Which isn't a bad thing, it's just I'm surprised they were actually consistent about something for once from season 2. It's the same probe model. Or
Just
Worf.
my Klingon psyche acting up again.
Picard's understanding. Oh, Worf, what are you doing being superstitious? Wait, was this... Did they make up these superstitions after they invented space travel? I feel like they would have grown past that.
It's a very good point.
It's just, we too had such stories. But while we were in ships on the ocean. Grow the fuck up, Mr. Wolf.
Oh, probe number 2, because it worked so great the first time.
It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Oh, I didn't mention it in the last break. If anyone else would like to join the voice chat, there's a link to Discord in the description. Just click on that, then click voice chat channel. You can come and talk about the episode too. Open to anyone, no password on it.
More hot dog analogies are welcome.
Yes. Perhaps we could craft some sort of bun.
How can you plot where it is based on 2 data points? Isn't that assuming, linear movement or whatever?
Don't worry about it.
This is a sleepy episode.
It was what really got me into Star Trek, though. The Nagilum. This is Nagilum, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't it good?
Yeah.
It's a great mystery. And the Yamato, it's really trippy.
I remember the
Oh, they're in
remember
Gulf now.
having, the Nagilum. There was a Nagilum card in the collectible card game, was there not? Did you guys?
No clue about that stuff.
Ooh, another person. Hi.
I think we had him last time.
Yeah.
Did you know that there was a collectible card game?
Hey, how's it going?
Ryan?
I knew there were. I've seen cards, but honestly, I kind of assumed they were photoshopped.
No, yeah, it was a real thing. Like,
For the original series too, they had a card game.
really. What's funny was that the Next Generation card game came out like when Magic was really big, like when Magic had just come out and it was huge, and like the TNG was ending its series, and then its card game came out, and me and a bunch of my nerdy friends were like super into it.
That line from Riker, it's like looking into infinity. No, it absolutely is not like looking into infinity. It's a big cloud in space. What did they tell Jonathan Frakes was going to be out that window? It's absolutely not what's actually there.
Men believed the Earth was flat. He's like, 2020. Very bad year.
They must have told Jonathan that it was going to be an infinite void outside instead of some space clouds. Yeah, it's not a void, Wesley.
Nowadays it'll be like a pocket of dark matter.
Despite not having training to be a bridge officer, I'm glad Pulaski was able to pull out the 1000 order. You need a lot of training for that.
What?
Clark being nice, he's humoring her.
No.
A real bridge officer would say 1 to the 4th power.
Well, wait. Do you mean 10 to the 4th power or actually 1 to the 4th power? Because 1 to the 4th power is 1.
1 to the 4th power.
Oh,
I think
good.
it's in TOS.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jane.
That's funny.
It does look like they're magnifying it 1 to the 4th power because the image is not changing at all.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah, regular space is more like looking into infinity than this. And because regular space just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Not
He looks at
not
Pulaski
into
when
infinity
he said
though.
lack of dimension.
Wouldn't the star field in space be like ridiculously dense?
Depends on the exposure
if you-
settings of the view screen, I guess.
That's what the moon landing conspiracy theories say. That we should see like crazy stars in all the Apollo 11 photos.
It's all about
it's just like-
exposure.
Well, I mean, like if you're away from any major light source, other major light source, right? Like you should like
Right.
it's like
And
going
no
out in
atmosphere.
the middle of the. Well, yeah, if you're going out in the middle of the, like if you go out in the middle of the country and look up at the sky, like away from the city, like the starscape that you see is much more like rich and like.
I love seeing the Yamato, the sister ship. It was so cool. Or Yamamoto. Sorry, I don't know, but Yamamoto was a famous Japanese admiral during World War II.
Yeah,
I
it's
think he-
Yamato.
Yeah, so there was a different Yamamoto
Or
in another
Yamato.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This music's really fun.
Yeah, it was a great episode.
That's a cool shot, like the focus
hand?
shift from Picard to Riker's hand. Yeah,
36 millimeter.
they're shooting this like a horror.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like the engines have engaged. We didn't even get the zoom up sound.
How come? Do they bother to tell anybody else on the ship when they're like doing some weird shit up on the bridge.
No, it's just assumed when it goes to yellow or red alert that something weird is happening. It's never just an enemy ship. They just assume it's something weird. They have to live with it.
Like, there's some kind of hole in space, Captain. Let's check it out. Why not?
Wow, 1.4 parsecs.
Exactly. You have 2 digits of precision, and it's exactly what yours say.
They don't have any reference points, but they must be very confident in their engineering logs. Yes, thank you, Mr. Data.
I like that Data's less of like a socially awkward child in this season.
And he smiles and stuff. Data has emotions here. He says he doesn't,
It's less.
but he
It's less than
emotes
in
a lot.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's growing into the role.
But it's like, it really rubbed me the wrong way. Like everybody in the ship was irritated with them all the time. I'm like, this dude is like an amazing like construction. It's like way more intelligent, way stronger than everyone on this ship, and you all act like he's just an annoyance. Like it's
I
like
mean,
how
sure,
do
but
you become a Starfleet officer?
it's like
how do
Siri
you
again.
go through the entire training and not learn like to be not socially awkward? Like
When they first meet Data, everyone's so fascinated by him. What are his abilities? He's so new and unique. And then everyone actually gets to know Data and has to work with him for years on end. They're like, "Oh my god, it's just an idiom, Data. Why do you have to always do this? You don't have
can
to
they
question
not
everything
see
we
2
say."
images of the beacon?
No, because they lost the image of the first one, probably.
And why does a beacon make that kind of noise?
Programming. Aren't all your beacons programmed to make dramatic ping noises?
No.
I know mine are.
This is where I learned the word probe, though, when I was like 14 or 12 years old. What's a probe?
It probes stuff. Oh, hey, Daredex. Still don't know what that
Plot.
big spotlight in the middle is for, but it's always there.
They had some money for CGI in this episode.
Wait, Worf, what do you mean another full spread? They launched one torpedo at you. That's not a full spread.
Jordy's sure
what-
happy we killed some people today. Like
Oh boy. It's okay, they're
Bloodthirsty.
Romulans. They're not really people.
And one torpedo. The Daredix is like 5 galaxy classes put together. So there's no way one torpedo would destroy them.
Unless it wasn't a real Daredex.
Mr. Wallfire.
1305E. Does that imply there are 1305 A, B, C, and D? And a 1305 with no A, B, C, D, or E? How many USS Yamatos have there been? Is it like the Enterprise?
Yamato rhymes with clamato.
Okay.
It's clamato juice. Clam and tomato juice.
Why does that exist?
It's actually pronounced Yamato.
It's named after their flagship restaurant.
Yeah. Picard is not getting it.
All right, Jordy.
Jordy, what are you... He reminds
That's
me
why
of
he's not.
early
It's a
Harry
weird Jordy
Kim.
episode.
He reminds me of early Harry Kim when he's like, "There's an old Chinese proverb, Captain." It's like, Jordy, we don't need your
But don't take my word for it. He that smile when they blew up the Romulan ship, man, that's a gif.
Yeah.
Did he not?
This is why he's not chief engineer yet.
Oh yeah, it's season 2. Why isn't he an engineer? When does he get chief engineer?
Yeah,
He needs
Tasha's
to get
dead.
down there. Who's the chief engineer now? It's not Argyle. He hasn't been here for a good 12 episodes. The white hair lady was only in for 1 episode.
And there were multiple chief engineers actually in the first season.
Or if it's a Federation ship. What if they're just regular people on board? Just gonna sneak up on the captain? Yeah, he was in main engineering earlier.
Yeah.
He's just not there now. Because he needs to emote to the camera, I guess. He can't give metaphors in main engineering.
Sure
Excuse
you
me,
can. They have
technically that
comm
was a
system.
simile. He can't give similes in main engineering.
No. And you can't drop cheesy smiles from main engineering.
Would that line have been worse if it was over the communicator with that filter effect?
Worf screams like an injured Targ.
I mean, Agilum has some really weird interests.
Yeah.
Is this the only way he can communicate people? Is that why he's so bad at just talking? Just talk to them, Nagilum. They'll answer any questions you have. Very convenient that they could reuse all the sets here. Oh, that man should not be at the tactical station. Oh no, he needs to get off the bridge. He needs to get off camera. Yeah, he's in
Stay
yellow
down
now.
there.
Bridge doesn't even have any containment doors he can roll under. He absolutely does not belong on the bridge. Except, those times he actually becomes captain of a ship. Or acting captain of this ship. Or those times things on the... Maybe he does belong on the bridge.
Why don't you guys turn on the lights? I love this part.
How many bridges do you suppose there are? And more importantly, how many Rikers? I feel like there's only supposed to be one Riker, one bridge, but I could be wrong about that.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Maybe Worf will let us know how many we're supposed to be seeing of each. It's a bit unclear right now. Oh, I do not like that camera shot. That's a bad panning camera shot. Get out of frame. That man needs to get out of frame immediately.
Geordi sat at helm for most of the first season.
Looking at it, I just realized that's a different man. That's not the same person whose head is gonna blow up. Have I been thinking it was the wrong actor the whole time whose head blows up?
I feel like that actor is the one who gets like lightninged.
I'm seeing he's freezing, but okay.
Hang on, I need to scroll forward now just to confirm I'm not going insane.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
it's
an
a.
E.M. Escher painting.
I've been thinking of the wrong actor the whole time. Completely different guy. Oh, thank you, Worf. That's very helpful. Now we know there's only one Riker and one bridge.
One Riker, one bridge.
What happens to something has got to happen to that other guy though? I distinctly remember something happening to that first guy. I have no idea what his name is though, and I don't know what search terms to look him up. Okay, no, your head can explode now. Don't worry about it. I should be snarky to the captain. Wait, what? What was that hand signal he just gave O'Brien?
We're all
Did-
good. No, I
did he
agree.
just-
That was weird.
Was that a finger gun?
I thought it was a thumbs up.
Picard, what are you smiling about? What's going on? Why are you happy? What? Is Picard being possessed by Nagilum? It's not there anymore. Maybe Geordi's metaphor is quite apt. They're a rat in a trap. Okay, is Troy going to be helpful here? Does she sense anything? No, she's. Could you be more specific in any way? Well, Pulaski, you can't just steal Geordi's metaphor. Hit your own metaphor. Some kind of laboratory.
Are you suggesting that we are like some kind of rats in a cage?
At this point, they've got to be assuming it's Q. We only know one person so far who likes to mess with them like this. Yeah, that's quite the disembodied spacehead. Well, did Geordi just curse in my Star Trek? He's not allowed to do that. This is a family-friendly show. How dare Gene Roddenberry write swearing into his Star Trek series?
This is
What's wrong
this
with
is
him?
bad. They should have called this episode "Bad Jordy."
Maybe Jordy needs to get his head exploded cursing in Star Trek. That's true. He got called ugly by a blind man. That's a good point.
Mm.
All Jordy sees is this weird mass of colors. Oh, bye, Haskell.
He's being racist and sexist now.
That is some great acting, Diane. Thank you. And
I
what
meant
about
you're an
Worf?
asshole.
What about Worf and Troy and all the other aliens?
Please demonstrate.
I don't think anyone wants to see Diane demonstrate.
I don't like all the ugly jokes about her. She's not that bad. I know she's coming from Crusher, but
I mean, I was going more for the fact that one, this is the bridge of a starship, and it's not really the place. And two, she's kind of old.
yeah, more ageist than anything. But
Oh,
she's
bye,
not-
Haskell.
Starting to think he's a
Oh, he doesn't get
metaphor for Geordi.
electrocuted. He just gets a headache.
It gets like all of his brain vessels go aneurysm at the same time.
Seven. You know, it's not going great.
I hate migraines.
Oh, he's still breathing.
He's dead,
He's
John.
okay. Is he gone? Hang on, let us see his faces again. Is he breathing? No, they're cut away. We're not going to see him again.
What about like
Gillen
brain
kind of looks like a
flares?
baby.
I was thinking he reminds me of a Kaminoan. Oh, Haskell is totally still breathing. Yeah, Haskell's fine.
Too bad it wasn't Gene Haskell.
Man, Haskell, that was like a half-second shot. You couldn't hold your nose still for half a second. Come on, man. Maybe you couldn't see it on standard definition interlaced. I don't know, Troy. Can you sense honesty from him? Do you sense anything? I'm not sure Troy senses anything other than the fact that Nagilum exists.
How do we know the ship even left Nagilum after this episode?
We don't. Woo.
Solipsism.
Hey, if it
Good
works,
medical
Diane, don't worry about it.
metaphor, doctor.
Diane, it's never the time to join that ship. Never work on the Enterprise. Go and find a nice Miranda class to work on.
Or maybe like a space station.
Ah, best scene.
Only a space station in the middle of the Federation, though. Don't go to the borders. Not too close to the middle of the Federation, though. Don't work at Earth Space Dock. You have to make like a ring around Earth between... So not at Earth, not at the borders. You need a ring of safety.
Why is auto-destructed a different like procedure every time?
Who knows? Maybe so aliens can't figure out how to do it. I don't know.
Why do they even have an auto destruct feature? I mean, I get that there's maybe like practical reasons, but it just
So they
seems
don't
like
give
Yeah, I think the
So they
real
don't
reason
give
so they don't get
technology
captured
to-
by.
to the Romulans, like
I mean, anyone. The Federation and Earth in general has been at war so many times. Every species they run into is hostile.
I mean, out of universe, it's an awesome writing device, which is why they have it. But
in the universe, it feels like it's like it's not something they should build into their ships.
and every ship has it, not just Federation, but Klingons. We've seen that.
I think we've seen successful self-destructs twice so far. We saw the one where the original Enterprise explodes and kills a bunch of Klingons. And we saw Voyager explode to kill a bunch of Vidians. Have we seen any others?
I mean, oh, that's not self-destruct. I don't think so.
Has the Discovery attempted to self-destruct yet? Because it's been 2 years now. If they haven't tried to self-destruct at least once, is it even a Star Trek show?
No, it's not.
No, it's a good show. Excited for season 3 in 2 weeks. Should be. Should be good. I'm really hoping to see them attempt self-destruct and it just completely not work, as tradition.
This is my favorite metaphysical moment in all of Star Trek because Gene Roddenberry was an atheist. The show was so famous for being atheist, but here,
Famous for
Picard,
being atheist? Are you?
yeah, he was, but Picard just hints the other way, and the show is so beautiful to say that we're more than matter, energy, gravitation, time, dimension.
When you say it's famous for that, I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but I do remember that one scene. Well, probably multiple scenes where they're debating whether they should save a doomed species and Prime Directive and all that. And they totally bring up, is it destiny? Is it part of the greater cosmic plan? Is it part of... Do we have the right to play God? Riker specifically seems to really like the idea of a cosmic plan.
Well, I mean, like they've already met Q at this point, who's basically like one of the most powerful beings they've encountered.
And Q does claim, kind of, somewhat sarcastically, to be God at one point.
He does, and also he very much like echoes this monologue of and it's a theme of the series. Like that Traveler episode, it's very much like, hey, like you guys are just beginning to understand reality. Like
Thought and reality are one and the same.
Oh, that's
Don't
a pretty
say
intense
that.
Starfield.
People won't like you.
Look at that Starfield. There's a lot of stars there.
Yeah, it's a good Starfield. Earlier, when he like see the Starfield on the screen looks a lot less dense.
When the Enterprise stretched out there for warp, it kind of looked like an Excelsior for a second.
Best line coming up from Riker.
But why do we have the Romulan theme playing?
Mystery and intrigue.
Oh, I know what your line you're talking about now. I remember. That's a good line. I agree. Kind of a bit close, Picard.
Just the
Good
best
thing the
auto-destruct in
computer's
whole
context sensitive.
Picard is almost like disgusted with him there. He's like, yeah,
Oh, there's
weirdo.
Data smiling again.
Data smirk.
I think Nagilum is starting to realize the preciousness of humans.
Those are some nice space crystals Picard has on his desk, though. Picard always has some kind of crystal on his desk, but does anyone ever notice the crystals? Anytime someone points them out, people are like, wait, that's been there the whole time? And yeah, Picard has crystals. I just realized this is basically the same episode as the Voyager episode, Scientific Method, where the invisible people are all over Voyager experimenting on the crew. And they try and self-destruct. And was it a bluff? No, it's not a bluff.
That's a very good point, yeah.
Picard is a lot more chill about it, though.
Maybe that's why they have to self-destruct. It's like, oh, if we ever get into a rat maze, you know.
So Nagilum says slow to change. I think that's a hint at him changing himself.
Okay, Gilum's face disappeared, but I can't help but notice the screen itself was still the void cloud. Maybe that's just Picard's screensaver.
Get off my laptop.
Boy, Nagilum's got to have a
Nagilum is
really...
yeah, the Nagilum is kind of like a shitty Q. Like he's like, I think your species kind of sucks, and he's like, yeah, well, I think you suck. Like, all right, well, see ya.
He's got to have a really big range of influence, though. They were like light years away at that point.
But who's more powerful, Nagilum or Q?
Q. Nagilum was localized. Q harasses them everywhere they go.
Yeah, Q is charismatic. Nagilum's just like kind of like a nerd.
But
nerd.
But even when I was watching Ryan's first episode with the Farpoint, it's like when they're running from the net that Q builds, like I was very much like the Nagilum thing. That's something you can't escape. So they were recycling.
Yeah, Q has to chase him down. Q only goes marginally faster than the Enterprise in Farpoint.
Okay, I think we paid one bad episode for 2 amazing episodes. I just saw what the next one is.
Oh yeah, Elementary Dear Data. It's pretty good.
Yes. That is something.
Some strange implications for, continuity and the greater lore, but it's fun.
Strange implications for sentience as well, but
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother and I always reference this episode. We were like, computer, could you create? Because we just feel like it's an example of like, seems like people that have access to a holodeck should be trained in some kind of ethical, like rules in terms of like what they ask the computer to do, and like should at least be more technical. Like, create a program to defeat Data. Like, okay, dude, like you can't ask the computer to do that. Like,
maybe the computer should
whenever the Enterprise
sentience without a confirmation dialogue.
Whenever the Enterprise gets boarded,
are you sure you want to create a program that can defeat Data?
Yeah, they just need to say to the computer, Please create a program capable of defeating the Klingons, capable of defeating the Vidians. And it'll do
yeah,
it.
there you go.
And then
Computer,
you did
could you
it.
create a computer that could create a computer?
No, I mean they should have been able to create artificial intelligence at that point and the technological singularity where technology invents itself.
And they did create artificial intelligence. Like, Data was supposed to be so amazing, and then they made a hologram that was also sentient, but
It really goes into what is intelligence and the Turing test.
Can you create a better version of Captain Picard and then replace Captain Picard with the better version of Captain Picard?
I mean,
Now
based
make
on
a-
the description, that sounds strictly better than the old Captain Picard. Give it a shot.
Make it.
Like, create a program that could defeat Data. It could just be like a giant monster that just like stomps him. Like,
But in the style of Sherlock Holmes. Giant monsters aren't in Sherlock Holmes. Maybe a canon, though.
he doesn't say Sherlock Holmes, but he says Data. Like, Data's not a Sherlock Holmes character.
no, Pulaski says Data. Wait, does he? No, I'm not sure.
We're gonna find out shortly. After Geordi gets all offended that Data's smarter than him. And that Data reads too quickly.
I think it is Pulaski, because she's all annoyed that Data knows all the stories, and so she's telling the computer to make a new story that he doesn't know.
Yeah, that whole rote memorization versus actual deduction.
Yeah, but then I think the computer like tries to extrapolate a story from like a bunch of stories, and then he kind of puts it together anyway. So
Yeah. This is definitely going to be another episode where Data clearly actually has emotions, but we're just going to pretend he doesn't. He's just so excited to play Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah, do we see him play the violin this episode?
I don't know. Maybe.
All the violin scenes are terrible. Like, I used to play cello, and if you actually know what you're looking for, they're all doing terrible jobs playing these instruments.
What about that time Picard plays his Resican flute, and it's clearly someone else's hands?
Right.
Alright, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, should mute the jazz. There we go. In fact, I want to look up that picture of Picard real quick. Picard playing flute. Okay, unblur the screen. Seriously, look at this. Those are not Patrick Stewart's arms.
Oh my god.
Absolutely not his arms. But they tried. And Data didn't notice it? That giant ship model right next to him? There are a number of scenes where, I mean, it's just TV in general, but they just completely fail to notice things that are right next to them. Like that time they walk right by Ro at a bar, though of course, at that point they're pretending not to see her. When Geordi's dead on a slab on a table, and they can't see Geordi right in their eye line. Data, there's no holographic projectors. What do you mean this isn't a computer simulation?
It's not urgent at all.
Sure it is. Data didn't have anything else going on. It's not like he has any other friends.
Oof.
No, but seriously, Data, we need to know how to contact him.
Right?
He's the chief engineer of the
That's
starship.
what I call Holodeck 3.
Is she supposed to like figure out that he means holodeck and then just guess which holodeck?
Apparently. I mean, they could also just call him on his communicator. It always works. Unless Jordy took it off because it didn't mesh with the costume.
Yeah, but they still manage to communicate in the holodeck somehow. They work it out.
There's probably an intercom system in there at the least.
Right, right. There is that one scene where Data calls in through the phone in the holodeck. That was cool.
Oh, yeah. And that one time Data actually has a phone in him. That was fun.
An Android phone! Ha 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 ha.
Oh god, that episode, would you agree it's a terrible introductory episode to Star Trek, Phantasms?
It's been a while since I watched it, but probably.
It's the one where like Data is screeching a high-pitched tone.
Right, and he's dreaming, and like Troy, he cuts the Troy cake, and it's because they have the invisible aliens sucking on them, and
So
it's a weird episode.
It'd be a great episode to like fool somebody with. Be like, yeah, she turns into a cake every episode.
yeah, some years ago I was at my aunt's house and we were watching TV and Star Trek came on. It's like, oh, Star Trek's great. We'll watch an episode. And what came on was first it was like the last 5 minutes of Gambit Part 2. So just no context what was going on there. And then they played Phantasms. It's like this is the exact worst way to introduce someone to my aunt who's never seen Star Trek to the series. This could not be worse. Just Data screeching, and then the end of an episode that doesn't make any sense if you haven't seen the rest of the hour and a half. It's very unfortunate timing on that. Glad to see people are still geeking out about the holodeck. I don't know, Data. It seems like there are a lot of things that are significant to him. Because there's a lot of stuff collected there.
Wouldn't that be really disgusting if it was a real pipe?
I mean, maybe, but what time period is this? Is it the 1800s?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Data clearly not emotionless here. He's having a great time. I haven't read the Sherlock Holmes books yet. Does Watson actually just walk around with a notepad writing everything down? Seems like a terrible job. It's like a court reporter. Here we go. Any thoughts on this?
They're showing it from the back, so you can't actually see anything.
It's good. It's a good choice.
I mean, Watson is the narrator, but does he actually follow Sherlock Holmes around with a pen and paper, writing everything down as it happens? Canonically.
Yeah, that's not right.
Is Data actually playing the violin, or is that the holodeck making violin sounds?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, It's like Wii Music.
You just shake the bow back and forth and it fills in the rest. Oh, that's quite a mustache on that man. Very fancy. Not Lestrade. His mustache is boring.
He's a fictional character, Jordy.
Talk however he wants. Data's working all the time. Give the man a break. He just wants to enjoy his Sherlock Holmes roleplay.
Data's
sure
never
Brent
been
Spiner's
more
enjoying this
racist
stuff.
towards Jordy.
Data, that's cheating. Jordy, he's having fun. It's not how you want to have fun with the program, but Data's having a great time.
No, it would be like me watching all these TV shows and then just doing your commentary and be like, I know what happened.
All right. Poor Data.
Can you imagine playing Halo with Data? He's just headshotting you all, like perfectly headshotting you all the time.
Wait.
You're like, all right, I'm leaving Data. Goodbye.
What was with those two people in the foreground? They were like 2 or 3 feet lower than everyone else.
He's so upset though.
This is a level floor, isn't it? Why are they so much lower than Data and Jordy?
This is so great. It's the start of their friendship.
Yeah, Data, you're too smart for us. You need to. You know, thinking about what happens later in the episode, is Moriarty really capable of defeating Data? He didn't seem to actually pose any kind of a threat. He kidnapped Pulaski, but other than that, all he did was feed her crumpets. He didn't even have a weapon. Data could have just walked in.
He needed someone with like to do some sort of emotional heist or something so that he could escape Data. Now you're just being space racist, Dr. Pulaski.
It'll be a little while before Pulaski starts being less racist to Data.
Couldn't he just delete his knowledge of what he read?
Yeah, probably. That wouldn't be dramatic enough, though.
Yeah, it would have saved us a lot of trouble. Moriarty was a great continuing theme in this whole series. They told him to stop using the pipe last season, and now he's back at it.
I mean, he can use the pipe, he just can't use the pipe when he's trying to brief Captain Picard on something. No smoking during work hours. And Pulaski's really getting into the role too.
We'll find out it was not sufficient.
Boy for sale.
Hovey News, Flaxville Meat Market, quality and service. Ooh. I don't know what the service means in that context, but I don't know how much service there could be in a meat market. You just give someone the money, they hand you the meat. It's not that complicated.
It's not that kind of meat market.
A chemist and druggist. So what? Why is Diane holding on to Jordy? Pulaski holding on to Jordy. Okay, yeah, Data's totally cheating.
The accent changes.
Really? Is this an actual Sherlock Holmes story? There's a snake attached to a rope that they use to assassinate someone? Does this happen? I feel like it'd be more effective to like throw a rock at someone. What? I guess with the snake plan, they have the benefit of it not being obvious it was a murder. But I mean, what guarantee do you have that the snake's even gonna bite? Oh, title drop.
Dude, he solves mysteries all the time. That's what the show's about.
Yeah,
Oh, hey,
he's a
Moriarty.
Starfleet officer. Like, wait, but they haven't programmed Moriarty yet. How is he able to?
Well, he's still a character. He's just not sentient for the next 5 seconds.
Right, but he shouldn't be able to see the arch. They used to just like magically not.
I think he's just watching Data. I think he's just watching Sherlock Holmes on the street.
Did they not earlier in season 1, the episode with Dixon Hill, like they had the antagonists of that fictional story also become sentient?
Oh yeah, he totally recognized the arch and saw what was outside the arch,
Yeah, yeah,
and he walked outside and existed for a good 5 seconds.
yeah, yeah. Before you like slowly dematerialize.
Create an adversary capable of defeating Data.
Huh. Power drain, sir. Apparently, the computer doesn't. People can just ask the computer for stuff, and it just gives it to them.
But hang on, Voyager told me the holodeck systems were on a separate power system.
It needed extra power to create sentience, but only a little bit extra.
But the power systems
Voyager-
were incompatible. That was why they were able to excuse using the holodeck on a ship starved of power. Are you telling me Voyager made that up for the convenience of storytelling?
No, of course not.
Voyager used bioneural gel packs, so that was a different operating system, hardware system.
That dark fellow there? All right. Okay, but why does the computer respond to his commands?
Because it's part of the requirements to make him an adversary capable of defeating Data. He needs to be able to access the computer.
But it wouldn't work for any other hologram character.
Yeah, this
It's a famous thing
computer's
in
just
Star
talking
Trek.
to itself.
The doors, the power doors open even when like just enough for time for someone to make a dramatic moment, or like they don't open even when they're standing close to it.
Yeah.
They can read minds.
And we go on about how the Enterprise
This is
really needs
cool.
some cameras for
Yeah.
security, but they don't need it if they can just sense everyone's thoughts all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Moriarty is a cool character though. Like like straight
Amazing.
up, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good actor too.
I didn't know Moriarty was a real Sherlock Holmes villain until like the new series came out with Benedict Cumberbatch and all that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Star Trek creation. Because I knew the Hound of Baskervilles, but Moriarty wasn't in that.
This Moriarty is a little bit different than the Cumberbatch Moriarty.
Yeah.
That's probably attributed to his being sentient now. A sentient hologram. In space. Playing with an android. And a blind dude with a visor. I don't think...
He's really
is that
getting
true?
into it.
Is that true, Data? Left-footed and left-handed?
Yeah, that's not true.
I feel like if I were to turn on the spot, I would also use my left foot, but I'm not left-handed.
Indubitably. Brent Spiner's having so much fun.
He is.
He doesn't have to play the I am an android deadpan anymore.
It's like the episode Masks, where he plays a whole bunch of different personalities, like Masaka. Brent
Where he
Spiner has
plays
a
a
great
one-
time.
Where he plays a one-man stage drama.
Yeah.
Wait, is Jordy wearing his
Yeah,
shirt
tell-
wrong?
And just like real Sherlock, he spends a lot of time, explaining rather than chasing after the person that's being abducted.
She'll be fine.
Is Jordan wearing what? Sorry, what'd you say?
His collar is wrong. Well, I guess it's just in a different style, but...
I think it was called a dicky back then. You would wear an external collar on top of your shirt, so the sweat wouldn't mess up your shirt's color.
Oh,
I read that in a Tree
Data's
Grows in Brooklyn.
confounded. Hang on. Maybe there actually was a doorway there and Moriarty got rid of it with the computer.
I think that's the assumption.
Oh.
There's more than one doctor in the city, Lestrade. He's obviously not talking about Dr. Watson. What's wrong with you? Is this why Lestrade always needs Sherlock Holmes' help solving mysteries?
This would be more fun if Data was playing old House episodes.
Yeah. LeVar Burton's great too in that British accent from the 19th century.
Data's facial expressions. He's basically playing lore now.
Yeah, but Laura always has that dark, sinister look. Like he's always plotted to kill someone.
How do you know that, Jordy? She's wearing really baggy sleeves. Maybe she's all muscular. You don't know. So why do you think the computer is creating multiple different murders?
It's to throw him off. Oh,
It's too bad Pulaski isn't here to witness it. James Moriarty. I feel like that was a missed opportunity for a dramatic music cue when he said Moriarty.
well, it kind of lets us know we're not in a simulation anymore. It's beyond the hollow program.
Data, what is the magnifying glass for? How could that possibly be helpful in the current situation? He wants you to follow him. He knows you're following the trail. Is it really such a subtle trail you need the magnifying glass? Oh wow. That's a really well made door. I would have expected that to be a lot heavier to move, but no, that's very well done. This also looks
episode's better
This looks suspiciously like Holmes's apartment.
This episode's better than I remembered.
Oh, hey, James. Because he looks like a main character, Jordy, that's how.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
I mean, why wouldn't she have told him anything? He's just a holodeck program. She can say whatever she wants. Hey, Data, do you want to take him out? You can move a lot faster than him, and he's right there. Do you want to maybe
He's
grab
still
him?
playing the game. He's trying to be,
But he's changing his voice already. Like he's not doing the pretentious Holmes voice.
Yeah, he's
moving
being
back
Data.
to his. Yeah, it's good. It's a nice change.
I mean, that's not really saying much wiser than the Oracle at Delphi. The Oracle at Delphi was just someone who was basically drugged up constantly. It's not that impressive. What was at Delphi? What were the fumes that were coming out of the ground that were hallucinogenic? There was some kind of leak out of the ground.
This is such a cool reveal.
Dun, dun, dun. And then we see terrible communication.
Data, why? No, why are you leaving? No, Pulaski's still been kidnapped. Do you want to, Data? He's just leaving Dr. Pulaski alone with him. Okay.
Such a cool character for you.
Data, how about computer end program? There we go. Maybe cut power? Just turn it off? Yeah, we know, Jordy. The computer said that.
Maybe you should tell Jordy what's on the piece of paper. Earlier.
The fact that he
Communicate with-
has the piece of paper should be enough to be concerned about.
That's true. How can he draw it so accurately? Like, those lines are perfect.
So you're just gonna leave her alone? Data!
They can't just teleport her out of there.
Yeah, beam her out, cut power to the holodeck, send in a security team, do literally anything other than sit around a conference table talking about the drawing.
Well, somehow magically you can never cut off power to the holodeck. They've had this problem many times.
Wait a minute. Isn't that piece of paper
Yep.
a holodeck simulation?
Don't worry about it. I read that was supposed to actually be a plot point and have it be some kind of reveal, and then they just cut that part out, but they still take the paper. Yes, Holmes-type mystery. Actually, I don't think he asked for that, technically, but... Did Picard just
That's
swear
for us.
on my Star Trek? He's not allowed to do that. This is Star Trek The Next Generation.
It's okay, they're allowed to swear in French.
Oh, sure, just
I asked
because
the
you don't
computer for a
understand
Star
French,
Trek
they're allowed to
episode.
curse in it? Swearing in my Star Trek.
Look, we'll discuss this later. This is very different amounts of swearing.
It's not fictional anymore, Data. Realistically, I don't see how Moriarty, no matter how smart, could make use of 24th century information. That's gotta be beyond him. He's only had access to it for like 2 hours. Where do you think she is, Picard? Do they discuss beaming her out? Do they mention it? Then why did you suggest it, Jordan? What? Why?
Jeez.
If Picard didn't ask, was he actually just going to kill Pulaski? You know, we
Wait, the
could get the
computer can
Romulans off
create
the
a
ship if we
consciousness.
detonate a torpedo inside the main reactor. Why, thank you, Jordy. That's very helpful, yes. That will technically get rid of the Romulans.
The computer can create a consciousness that Troy can detect, but Troy can't detect data.
Oh, good. Hey, Picard, do you maybe want to try and isolate functions to the bridge at this point?
Yeah, why did the computer give, like...
I assume the reason Moriarty is able to get control of the computer is that Moriarty is the computer, so it just kind of bends the rules a bit for itself.
But surely there's some, permissions.
The computer doesn't need permissions to work with itself. The computer can do whatever it wants. Here the computer's referring to itself in the third person. Good that the computer's so polite, though. Oh, Moriarty's a nice guy. He won't do anything. Also, I have a question. Why is Moriarty saying Mr. Computer when it's a female voice? It's Majel Barrett.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe it's like in one of those TOS movies where they call Savick Mr. Savick just because they use the term Mr. for everyone. Was that how it was in the 1800s? Did the term Mr. apply to everyone? No, he's saying
I
madam to
don't
her.
think so.
Oh, what math is that? 2 GM. Wait. Hang on. I need a screenshot of that math.
There's a delta something t per second.
There's some gravity equations. There's d naught over di. I don't. That diagram of the Enterprise. I find it very interesting that Moriarty bothered with shading. He really wanted it to look nice. E1 over E2 minus 6.63 times 10 to the 19th centimeters per second is VC.
Is that speed of light?
Well, let's see. It's 3 times 10 to the 8th meters.
Meters per second is the speed of light, yeah.
I think that's faster than the speed of light then. Yeah, that's faster than. Is he calculating warp velocity?
Flip the top hat on Picard.
Picard looks good in his top hat. I wish we got to see more of that.
Oh god, this reminds me of. There's that I don't remember what it's called. The Christmas story where it's the ghost of Christmas past and all that stuff.
A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart plays what's his face in one of the
Scrooge.
adaptations in that
Ebenezer
movie.
Scrooge.
Patrick Stewart plays Ebenezer Scrooge in one of the Christmas Carol movies. I haven't been able to find that anywhere though. I really want to watch it for Patrick Stewart, but I can't find it anywhere.
Isn't that the actor from Blade Runner, from the beginning of Blade Runner? The one that's like, my mother? And then he blows the guy away?
I was watching Moby Dick with Patrick Stewart. It's on Amazon too.
Oh yeah, saw that. That was. Oh yeah. Okay, so I pulled up the image here. Let me unblur the screen. It's the same outfit. He's wearing the same thing in A Christmas Carol.
What?
That's great.
He does have
That's
a
great
cane
throwback.
though.
It's amazing. It's a taller hat though.
Yeah, tell him.
Maybe he was like, they let me keep it. Suddenly.
Maybe he brought it from home. Maybe it's his. Also,
He'd
is
also
this
be
the
super
same
tweaked
outfit
up.
minus the top hat that he wears in the simulation where he shoots the Borg?
Yeah, that's Dixon Hill though.
Yeah. Why
I
is
don't think
Worf
he's wearing a
dressed
top hat.
up?
He's just wearing like a tuxedo.
Why is Worf dressed up with his security team? If they're resorting to bring in security, they probably are well past the point of disguises.
Yeah, don't try to question the Klingon psyche.
Oh, that's a good point. There are parts of the Klingon psyche it's best not to know.
What's that? Air brakes.
Steampunk.
Air brakes for the Enterprise. Oh, but the pressure is currently at 0. I wonder if that's going to change when he pulls that lever. Alright, watch the pressure gauge. Nope, didn't move at all. Pressure gauge does nothing.
What?
How did he make this interface? Did he ask the computer to materialize it for him?
Presumably.
Mr. Computer, please make me a braking system for this ship.
If you eliminate the impossible.
Whatever remains is still impossible in Star Trek. Do you want to elaborate on that? He doesn't know what a transporter is. That I still don't think makes sense. I feel like Moriarty's body absolutely could move out of the holodeck. I don't know if his neural energy could.
Well,
But his
it
matter
depends
should.
on the design of the holodeck. Is the holodeck literally just using like a replicator kind of tech
Sure.
to
It
make
replicates some stuff.
materials? Right. Like is it creating actual physical materials, or is it merely simulating their existence with like force fields? Because that's the way they describe it at the beginning of
Yeah.
the series.
It's
definitely-
photons and then force fields.
It definitely actually replicates some things, like the food they eat on the holodeck. It can make some stuff.
But
It's
like,
just most of it is
why would it use
force
different
fields.
methods to achieve that the same thing? Like why not just say yes, it's creating it's creating everything. Like everything is matter on the holodeck. Like
Maybe it's more energy
And-
efficient for the force fields.
and we murder everyone you create on the holodeck at the end of your simulation.
That's pretty gruesome.
And also, there's got to be some sort of culling going on. You don't need to have the force fields for things that people aren't next to, so you can save some energy there. It can be purely an image.
Yeah. Man, props to the guy that built the holodeck renderer.
That is
And
some good
presumably there's-
optimization.
There's treadmills on the floor that let you feel like you're walking.
Yeah. Somehow you can keep walking in a straight line forever and it's fine. In actual fact, we have no idea where Pulaski is, but she's actually like 5 feet away in
Right.
physical space.
That's a funny way to look at it.
Oh no, she's actually right there. I kind of lost track of what was happening in the scene. She's actually 5 feet away in the holodeck too. But you are the main computer, Moriarty. This is also another reason they have self-destructs on the ship. Just in case they get taken over by their own computer system.
But the computer system controls the self-destruct.
I guess they could shoot the warp core.
I mean,
You can just keep the holodeck running.
Yeah, they don't actually want to meet his demands. They want him to think they're going
Yeah.
to, and then just kind of shove the problem away, shoved under the bed, you know.
Send it to the best minds of the Federation, Picard says later on.
I'm afraid the season you come back, I will not be here.
Poor Moriarty. He just wanted to meet his old doctor friend.
they did lie to him.
With the holodeck in a box.
Yeah, I mean, even here though.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I don't think Picard's lying. He does say in the next Moriarty episode that he actually sends the problem to a bunch of scientists and they've been working on it.
But doesn't Moriarty say like I was still running and like I felt?
Yeah, he felt consciousness, brief glimpses of terrifying consciousness while the program was discontinued,
Yeah.
which would, it would be pretty existentially horrifying to just exist as a consciousness briefly inside a computer system for
With
years.
no body and no reality to live in.
Yeah. Did you see that story from a year or so ago, like where they were like trying to reanimate pigs' brains,
Yeah.
and they were like weighing the ethical problem of like, what if we reanimate like this brain matter? Like, will it resume some sort of consciousness? And like, what are the ethical considerations we have to make for that event?
Yeah.
I mean, the world isn't full of
Oh,
vegans
Constellation
yet,
class.
so don't think most people are too worried about pigs.
Yeah, but I guess
Yeah.
but when you get to the level where you're reanimating their brains, like,
Right. Keep him.
maybe you do care a little bit more. Like,
I mean, if it's a dead animal, then it's dead. But if it's being suspended in consciousness, it's kind of foul.
I mean,
Just-
who knows what that feels like, right? Like, nobody can
Wait,
possibly describe it.
Doesn't Elon Musk have a thing where like he's able to like connect a neural net to pig brains? Like he was showing that technology, I think, recently, like within the past month.
I
Anything
recall
Elon
reading some
Musk
kind of story.
claims or shows, just dumb it down by about 10 years of technology. That's probably what's actually going on.
Dude, like, I've been reading some crazy stories. Like, I try to
So-
keep my expectations in check, but go on. Sorry.
No, you were speaking. I'm sorry.
I was saying like just yesterday I read about like how like an article about how they were trying to use like quantum entanglement
Mhm.
like to incorporate like physical mechanisms in a computer system or measurement system, and then there was another one that was like about that's the only one I can remember. But they
We
were
should put
both, like,
Moriarty's program into a pig's brain.
more.
I get the feeling he wouldn't quite enjoy that.
That's foul. It's like the worst punishment you could give
That's it.
somebody.
That Moriarty episode is kind of like, it kind of ends like as a dud. Like,
Yeah. I didn't remember that he just like basically gives up. Like, all right, you can have the ship back.
Yeah, they really did more justice to that character and that idea with like the subsequent episode, like where he kind of comes back.
There were
and,
two
like,
episodes, right, with him later, or is just one?
Are there two? I can't.
Just one
remember.
more.
Okay.
At some point, like in that later episode, doesn't he like leave the ship? Like, doesn't he? Or no. They make him
They-
think he's left the ship.
Yeah, they put him in a
Right.
little box that's running it.
Yeah. But that's because he steps off the holodeck and he shocks them all. He's like, "Ta-da!"
I think, therefore I am.
Yeah, he tricks them into being in a simulation within a simulation, and then they trick him by putting him in another simulation.
It's
So many
simulations all the way down.
simulations.
They're very, very Rick and Morty.
So, tomorrow is more Deep Space Nine Season 2. And next week, TNG. Very importantly, let me unblur the screen for this because it's so important. We get Joe Piscopo making an attempt at comedy.
Oh, this is so great.
Is it? Is it though? Joe Piscopo is... Yeah, he tries.
And Data does a tap dancing too, right?
I don't think he tap dance. He does tap dancing with Dr. Crusher and Data's Day.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Wait a minute, Joe Piscopo. Are you talking about the guy from yesterday's Enterprise?
If that's a reference, I don't know what it's to.
No. I mean, you said Joe Piscopo.
Yeah.
Like, in what episode is Joe Piscopo?
In The Outrageous Okana. He's the comedian.
Oh.
He's on screen right now if you want to have a look at him.
No, it's funny because like I had a friend a long time ago that confused the actor that plays the like the first officer in yesterday's Enterprise.
Yeah,
Oh,
Garrett.
that guy.
Enterprise C.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And he thought that was Joe Piscopo, and I'm like, that's not Joe Piscopo. Like, but it's actually Joe Piscopo in that other episode.
Yeah. They got guest star Joe Piscopo, and then they're kind of making fun of his comedy style with how over the top Data goes with it. It's
Yeah,
It's
he's
something.
he's like a right wing. He's like a conservative radio host now, isn't he? Like,
no idea. To me,
Yeah.
he stopped existing after this episode. That's all I
Yeah.
know about him. Yeah, that's all for today. Tomorrow, Deep Space Nine. Maybe the same time if YouTube doesn't, break immediately. That was fun. Should work okay now, though. It's probably just a temporary error. And that's it. And if you would all just go away now. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.